something up or break something down. Beautiful. Decompose means that you're breaking something down. And in this case, we're breaking it into how many different rectangles?
Two rectangles.
Okay. So if we look at, and then after we decompose the shapes, okay, then we're going to be using that information to help us find the area of the whole thing. Okay. So we're going to decompose into two different shapes, and then we're going to use that information, put it back together to find the area of the whole thing. Okay? So if we're looking at this shape up here, you guys had an opportunity to work on this by yourself. Where do you think a good place, where do you think it'd be a good place to break this up into two rectangles?
Can you do a turn and talk?
What?
Can you do a turn?
Yeah. You want me to do it with that question?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're gonna do a turn and talk. You're gonna talk to your neighbor about where you think that you should be breaking this up. And if you want to refer to this picture, you can kind of point to your partner and say, I'd break it up here, or I'd break it up here. Okay? So when I say go,
Yeah.
turn to a partner near you, and you're going. Okay, go ahead and do that now. 3, 2, 1, done. Eyes back on me. Eyes just back on me while I ask the question. Where would you break this shape up to make it into two rectangles? Go.
No, think so. Yeah. Like I feel like they can do it at this style, you know. So that's why I want to get this on the sometimes everyone just feels so trapped.
Ooh, let's try that again. Clap, 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 clap. Beautiful. Kayla's back with me. Christelle's back with me. Oh, waiting on one friend to be back with me. Awesome. Thanks, EJ. Okay, so I heard some great ideas from Manuel, from Sophia. I was kind of listening to this area over here. What do you guys think? What did you talk to your partner about? Where would be a good place to break up the shape? There are actually a couple different ways we could do this.
I heard everyone talking, so I really should see every hand.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking. Give us your idea.
Yeah. For Alicia, what do you think? Tracking the
I think we
list.
can like break it up in the middle.
Oh, you want to come up and show me where you think it'd be a good idea to break it up?
Remember, we're looking for two rectangles.
Two different rectangles. That way we can find the area and put them back together. All eyes should be up on the board tracking for Alicia. Emily, I'm confused with why I hear a voice up front. Okay. Thank you, Alicia. What do you guys think about this? I'm seeing a lot of engagement from Veronica, from Irene. Please get off the wall. Okay, from Tyrell. So do I have, the way that Felicia wrote this up, do I have two separate rectangles?
Yeah.
And remember, what do we need, in order to make a rectangle, what do we need to know about that rectangle? What does a rectangle have to have? Darwin.
It has four sides.
Okay, so let's double check. This shape over here, does it have 4 sides? Let's count.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, what else do we know about a rectangle?
That it has 4 sharp corners.
Okay, so it's got our 4 corners, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the one other thing about a rectangle that makes it different than a square is what, Nevaeh? EJ?
Not all sides are equal.
Right, so in a rectangle we've got how many shorter sides?
2.
2 shorter sides. And how many longer sides?
2.
Okay, so is this shape a rectangle?
Yes.
What about this shape? Is that a rectangle?
No.
EJ is saying no. What do you think? Why isn't this a rectangle?
I say no because actually
Let him talk. No, I just want to hear from you. Why do you think this is not a rectangle?
I don't think it's rectangle because
Do you think it is or isn't?
it isn't.
You don't think this is a rectangle?
No,
Okay, why not?
because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rectangles.
You mean 6 squares?
Yes.
Okay, but remember what we know about a rectangle. What we know about a rectangle is what, EJ? That it's a shape that has how many sides?
6.
Wait.
How many sides does a rectangle have? If you're okay, hands in your lap. I see a lot of people that are disagreeing.
6.
And I'm going to pause you for 1 second, EJ. This is a safe space in here. If you are laughing, that's not showing that you care about your classmates. So EJ, a rectangle has how many sides?
6.
A rectangle has 4 sides. We said that this was a rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does this have 4 sides?
No.
1,
2,
3.
4.
Does it have 4 sides?
Yep.
It does. Okay. So this is in fact a rectangle. Have a seat, please. So with this first shape, we accomplished our first task, which was to decompose the rectangle, to decompose the shape into 2 rectangles, right? So can I check that off?
Yeah.
We did that part, okay? And the next part that we have to do is we have to find the area of those individual rectangles, and that's going to help us find the area of the whole thing, okay? That's going to help us find the area of the whole thing, okay? So who wants to come up and write in? First, well, let me back up. To find the area of the rectangles, what do we do? To find the area of the rectangles, this is a quick review. Sophia. We already decomposed. To find area of a shape, what do we do? A rectangle, what do we do?
There's a few ways, right, Miss Van Dam?
There are a few ways.
Okay.
Want me to come back to you?
There's only
Okay.
a few brains that are on right
To
now.
find the area of a rectangle, we got a couple different ways we can do this. What's one of those ways, Nevaeh?
You can count the side right here.
Okay, so count, and does anyone know what this is called in a rectangle? The length. Okay.
But does that give you the area, just counting the length?
No.
Okay, so everyone think about how you would find the area.
But Nevaeh, were you going to say you could count this side, and then were you going to say something else?
Yeah, and then you can count 2.
Okay. And is that going to give me the area? Is there another step I have to do after that?
You can put A equals
What does A represent?
area.
Okay.
So to find the area.
Area equals, and then whatever it equals, you can put
Nevaeh, can I push your thinking a little bit more? So we've talked about multiple ways that you can find area. We can do it by counting. That's one way. And then recently we've been focusing more on finding area by actually multiplying 2 things to get the area of a shape. And I see a few friends agreeing, what are those 2 things? Because I think you're getting to that point when you say, like, oh, we're going to count this side and we're going to count that side, and then we're going to...
We have to do something.
But what exactly are we doing? Because just counting those sides, I could count. Let's try that, Miss Van Dam. Let's try what
do
Nevaeh
it.
just
Okay.
asked.
Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So what is the length?
8.
What?
Inches.
Do we know that it's inches?
No. Unit square.
There you go.
Oh, no.
So 8, and I'm going to put my unit square. And then, and this is the length. What about the width? What's the width, Veronica? 2 what? Okay.
I think it's just 2 units, but
Yeah, 2 units. Can I ask a question, guys? But if it's, so Nevaeh suggested that we count the side and the top. Did that give us the area by doing just that?
No.
So what are we missing? What step?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Joe, why is your hand up? No? Do you remember?
So what step is she missing? What step is she missing? What would she need? Can somebody tell me what area is first and foremost? Michaela, tell me what area is.
Area is by finding the.
What is area? Like without talking about a formula, without talking about anything. Area is
Area is the amount of the inside of the shape.
so about the inside of the shape. Can somebody build on that a little bit more? Ariana, thank you for everyone tracking her.
Area is the space that takes up the inside of the shape.
So the amount of space it takes up on the inside of a shape. Can you whisper that to your neighbor? Area is. So, eyes back on me. And then we're going to turn right back to Miss Van Dam. So, Nevaeh suggested that we count the side and we count the top. Did that give us area? No, because we just did like the edges of the shape.
We got to get the whole thing. We
Right.
did this side and this side.
If we're going off of what Ariana said, what area is, area is the amount of space. Sorry, I can't even get my thing together. Area is the amount of space that is taken up on the inside of a shape. Then what would we have to do? We would have to do what, Emily?
We'll have to do length times width.
What would length times width? Why do we have to do that?
We have to do that because we decomposed it, and Nevaeh's part sort of makes you want to multiply it because when you do length times width, it means that you have to multiply it.
Okay, yeah, you have to multiply it, but how is that getting us the area? Because when we do that, are we getting the whole shape? Are we getting the area of the whole shape?
No. Yeah.
If we multiply the length and the width, are we getting the area of the whole shape?
Yes.
So with that being said, what the one thing I want to push us a little bit on is that when I need every eye on me. When we're finding the area, we need to make sure we know exactly what we're saying. Because if we just went with that suggestion of counting the side and the top, if I just walked in this class and had never done area before, I would think that all I have to do is count the side of a shape and count the top of it and I'll get the area. But I need to multiply, because multiplying those two numbers, that length and that width, is going to give me the area of the whole shape. So we need to make sure we keep that in our mind. So the reason why you're multiplying Nevaeh is because multiplying the length and the width is going to give me the area of the whole entire shape. So just counting the edges is not enough. Okay?
And turn back here. I'm gonna really explicitly show you why that works. So if we wanted to find the area, we would do the length, which is but we would do the length, which is, what's the length of this shape? 8. Times the width of the shape, which is 2. And that's going to give us the area. Okay? Now, before we even solve for the area, if we really go back to multiplication, 8 times 2 really means 8 groups of 2. Do we have 8 groups of 2 here?
Yes.
Let's check. Here's a group of 2. Here's a group of 2. Here's a group of 2. That's 3. Here's a group of 2.
How many groups is that?
4 groups. 5 groups. 6 groups of 2. 7 groups of 2. 8 groups of 2. So that's why we're multiplying. Remember, multiplication is just repeated addition. We've got 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 8 groups of 2. And that's going to tell us the area that's in this whole, that's going to tell us the area or the space that's in the whole shape. Okay? So that's why we multiply, because we're really just doing repeated addition of those groups. Okay? What's 8 times 2? 16. Beautiful. If you didn't know that automatically, again, you can draw your groups. What's another way, instead of doing just length times width in this shape, we're actually fortunate to have a little bit more information in this shape. We could also just do what, EJ? Yeah, we could also just count the squares, right? How could we count the squares? What's one way we could count the squares? What's one way we could count the squares? 1, 2, I see 2 hands. What's one way we could count the squares? Irene.
Well, sorry. Nelson, Mariah.
Guys, I'm with you for recess, and you know that we're in for a recess because it's cold. I don't want to have to do this math lesson over again. Make sure you're tracking, you're with the group, so we can grow our brains.
Another way that you can count the squares is that you can count by 2.
Yeah. So let's do that together. Eyes on me. 2,
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
8. Were there 2 more? Did we get to 18?
1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
Okay, thank you. Have a seat. There are not 2 more to go to 18. EJ, do we need to together doing this over? No, fix your legs, please. Okay, so we know that the area of this first shape is what? 16. 16 units squared. There we go. Okay, so we've got the area of this shape. Okay, now we got to find the area of this shape so we can find the area of the whole thing together. So who can very quickly tell me the length of this rectangle down here? Who can tell me the length? I see 3 hands.